In this episode, I was going to talk about ships over the horizon. However, to understand this, we must understand the physical curve caused by a globe model of the Earth. You see, we can only look so far until the physical curve of the Earth stops us. And as we know the radius and hence the diameter and circumference of the Earth, we can calculate how far we can see before our view is physically stopped. This is called the Earth Curve Calculator. For me, this was a real eye-opener. Never taught, but it gives you an actual distance of how far you can see before your view is blocked. I have covered this before, so if I prove to you that this curve blocks your view of the ships or objects, but then by using telescopes, binoculars or high-powered cameras we can bring these things back into view, then we have at least proved that the Earth is not a curve as we have been told. From there we can move forward, but the simple expression "we can see further than we should" is muddied by scientists saying it's because of diffraction, refraction, atmospheric effects, etc., and mathematical equations, leaving you perplexed and confused about what you actually saw. So to avoid all this, we resort to our default position and our comfy place. Don't confuse me, you're an idiot. We know it's a globe. What about this? What about that? What about the other? So allow me a few minutes to give you something to think about. You are suffering from cognitive dissonance. We do this all the time when we are faced with something that upsets our view of the world. You can, of course, just go along with the crowd. What do you do in this sort of situation? Just go along for an easy life and don't buck the system? Yet it could be because going against perceived society truths will leave you labelled as mad, leading to loss of promotion in your job, maybe the job itself, loss of friends, and even family and then financial hardships. Nevertheless, history shows many examples of people upholding truth and eventually changing society's attitudes. So from going along with the crowd leads us now to the illusory truth effect. Also known as the illusion of truth, it describes how when we hear the same false information repeated again and again, we often come to believe it is true. We have been told about the Earth being a globe since the cradle and throughout school, and of course time and again in films and media. You've only got to think of the BBC News being introduced by a world globe going round and round at tremendous speeds. This is government propaganda showing you the same thing year after year. So, talking about ships over the horizon, the curve calculator, and seeing too far could well result in cognitive dissonance in you. This occurs when your beliefs and ideas are challenged by the new information. Discomfort is triggered by the person's belief clashing with new information perceived, wherein the individual tries to find a way to resolve the contradiction and to reduce their discomfort. Now, cognitive dissonance is usually resolved by cognitive denial. When reality or new information conflicts with a person's beliefs, they may deny it, rationalise it, or justify their own position, or in fact go for cognitive bias, which is a tendency to search for, interpret, focus on and remember information in a way that conforms and confirms one's own preconceptions. So anyone who speaks out about the Earth not being a globe understands cognitive dissonance in others. However, we would kindly ask you, and with respect, to at least listen to a few minutes and perhaps re-evaluate your ideas and beliefs. After all we're trying to do is to give you something to think about. Simples.